Hey guys, Mike here, thanks for tuning in. So today we're going to talk about a few little tips that you can add to your mixes to add a little bit of excitement. And it's not really complicated or fancy, it's just like the idea of creating opposite things like left to right and loud and quiet and far and near in a mix. Just with a few little tweaks I show you on an actual mix. So without further ado, let's jump in. So the song we're talking about today is called Cage by a band called Black Crown. I'm going to show you the song so you know what we're talking about. First, I'm going to show you the rough mix, so just like the raw tracks where I started completely without any processing at all. And then the same, let's say, first 30 seconds with the final mix already, because the mix is already finished. And then I'll show you what I mean on specific things. So here are the first 30 seconds into the first verse, just the pure recording. So you get the idea. It's a straight ahead rock, alternative rock song, really cool song. But of course you hear it sounds not very good. It's not really balanced. So this is where we ended up before we dive into the actual examples. So, of course, it's a different like night and day. What to me clearly shows that you can go a long way like this even when you record your stuff at home. So the first thing I want to talk with you about is here right in the beginning, and maybe when you listen to the raw mix again, the song starts with a little like synth pad that's laying underneath, and then two guitars, like the hook melody is really coming in. There's like the melody that's almost lasting through the entire song with two electric guitars panned left and right. So listen when the guitars kick in, or listen on the level, how you perceive that level. So here again, the raw mix. So the pad is just going on, and then after 10 seconds or so, the guitars kick in. So what I did in my mix, and I can jump into the, let me just quickly unsolo here the raw mix. So what I did here, these are, let me just make them a little bit larger here. So these are the two guitars that we were talking about. So when I just unsolo everything, I'm going to show you more in detail. So these are the two guitars, and maybe you already see what I did. All I did is just I put a fader on the two tracks because I felt like that the song slowly was building up until the drums kick in, where the song really officially starts. But I wanted to enhance that effect to my ear, and this is where we started with first. So this is how we started. So the guitars kick in almost right too suddenly, which is okay. You hear the delay effect and of course some EQ going on, but Now listen when I add the panning, just the guitars on their own, how a difference this makes. And you see that I ended the, let's say, the fade in the moment the third and fourth guitar, which are basically playing the same idea and same rhythm here, are kicking in. So I just wanted to gradually bring it in the moment the verse kicks in, the lead singer kicks in, and the drums kick in. And now in contact with the song again. To enhance that effect, I went to the synth pad here. You see I did some fade in and fade out as well, because it lasted a little bit too long for me. But what I did additionally on the synth pad here, and again, this is just the idea that you create some excitement and some movement, that you play along with the three-dimensional idea of a mix, being left, right, top and bottom, which is the low end and the high end, and near and far. So what I did here, I added this plugin called Panman from Soundtoys, amazing. And what this plugin is doing, it's playing with the volume and with the left-right perception. So this creates a weird effect on the synth pad. So let me just show you what I mean here when I start with the synth pad and solo it. So you hear what this plugin is doing to the synth pad. And then without. So here without is just like a static sound that's going, but after I did the fade in on the guitars, I thought the pad was too boring, so I added a little bit of excitement. So the listener, when you hear to the song, before the drums kick in and the song explodes, kind of like in the first instance, it's like the listener's constantly checking like what's going on here. Like the pad is going up and down and left to right, and the guitars are slowly kicking in. So it's just two little moves where you make a rather boring intro to a more exciting one. So again, final time, both effects on, the guitars coming in and this effect on the synth pad. The second thing I want to show you on this song, there's a bridge section here. Let me quickly jump to that section here, or kind of like an interlude, a bridge section, where the performance already, and I'm going to jump to the raw track again. This is how the song was given to me, and I heard it the first time. It's kind of like a spare arrangement. You hear all the guitars and the bass and the drums are playing, but the overall arrangement is really rather spare. So just listen to the raw track so you get an idea what the band was intended to do in this section. So you hear those heavy riffs from the guitars, and then the drums just like filling in the space in between with some fills. So I thought that what I did is I split up the lead vocal because it was just one take from the singer here, and I created this additional track. And let me jump here to the edit window. So you see this is the part here, the red part, which you see here, which was originally part of the lead vocal track, but I split it up because I wanted to add some effect. And the idea what came into my mind is like I had this idea that the song was kind of like this before the final chorus, which then the whole song explodes. I wanted to really like bring the track a little bit down and give him some excitement, some unexpected excitement. So what I did is, let me show you first without any processing and without any effects going on. So here again, just the two vocals now balanced, but just the pure vocals on their own.
Now your party swayeth. Don't you feel the hate?
So it's clearly a harmony going on in the background. So what I did to the main lead vocal was, first and foremost, nothing really special. One of my favorite plugins, the SSL emulation from Plugin Alliance. Just some basic compression, some filter, and some EQ going on. So this is how this sounds.
Now your party swayeth.
So a little bit brightening up the vocal here. But then is where the magic happens. I used Echo Boy, which is usually a delay plugin, but it has some presets, in this case Radio Vox Spread, because I had this idea in mind to add this radio telephone kind of like style. So this is what it sounds like with this effect.
Now your party swayeth.
Right, that's great. But I wanted to enhance that. Because a typical thing here with the Pro Q3, or a typical thing on those radio telephone voices, is that there's almost no high end and barely any low end going on. It's just like really like the range between 500-600 hertz and 2 to 3 kilohertz. And I wanted to enhance that using this EQ, and I tamed down a little bit of the 2.3 area here, because this is usually where the voice gets a little bit harsh sometimes. So now with the EQ.
Now your party swayeth.
So now I had the effect going on. Of course, the effect of the radio, of course, it leads a little bit space, because the drums and the guitars and the bass are really like playing in a big room as well, because I added some reverb. So first what I did, I sent this radio vocal to a small room reverb, in this case the Valhalla Room, highly recommend that. But you see here, it's just 0.5 seconds of reverb time, of decay time, so it's rather small. So here with the room preset.
Now your party swayeth. Don't you feel the hate?
It's just a little bit depth adding to the vocal, but then I went quite the opposite and added a half note delay, which is rather long for an intimate vocal like that. But the effect here is that the half note delay is set up in a way that between his parts, that what he's singing, is the vocal gets repeated. So you really get this effect with the half note delay. A full note delay was too long, quarter note was too short, so half the note delay was exactly what I was looking for. So listen how the delay kicks in after he stopped singing and before he starts singing again.
Now your party swayeth. Don't you feel the hate?
So you really fill in the gaps a little bit. So when the drums and the guitars are playing, you still hear a little bit of the vocal, but it's kind of like lost in the space because the arrangement is so dense and so intimate. I wanted to create this, let's say, mystical sense of the vocal. But the real magic really happens when now the background vocal comes into place as well, because that's a nicely sung harmony. So first, again, just the SSL emulation, just enhancing some of the stuff and adding some compression, and then de-esser, because this vocal was had some harsh S's and T's. So I just tamed the vocal here. Let's listen to the background vocal just for a sec here.
Feel the hate. Oh, your sweet swam maze.
And I sent this background vocal to this amazing plugin which is called Bob Clear Mountain. You can use, of course, your own effect. It's not about the plugins that I use, it's about the effect I wanted to create. This plugin from Bob Clear Mountain is really sophisticated and really fancy. It's a mixture of a delay, an EQ, and pitch settings and reverb. It's everything in one. I picked the preset stereo background vocals, but adjusted this to taste, of course. And what this plugin is doing, while the lead vocal was having this half note delay where it's still kind of like consistent but like just delayed half a note, and this plugin really like sending the background vocals like to somewhere in the room. It's kind of like you feel that the vocal is like bouncing back and forth from the walls, and listen on its own it already sounds cool, but together with the lead vocal, the whole power and the magic of this plugin and this effects really unleashes. So here's the vocal just with the plugin.
Feel the hate.
Now together with the lead vocal. Let's start from the section here.
Now your party's straight. Don't you feel the hate? Oh, your splits were made.
And now, in context with the whole section, let me jump a little bit before so you jump into it. Watch out, the volume is jump right now.
Now your party's straight. Don't you feel the hate? Oh, your splits were made. Out of cellulite. Face the northern gate. Don't destroy, create.
So you get the point. So that's what I wanted to show you. Of course, you can discuss someone might like this effect or not. It's just like that you try when you mix someone else's song or your own song, look at individual parts, and of course always in context or in discussion with the musicians. If you mix your own song, the better. Try to pick some parts in the song and think about how you can make a better transition, how to play with the dimensions, because that's what's mixing all about. You have left, right, you have up and down, and you have close and far away. So try to play with those settings, and all of a sudden the whole song really gets three-dimensional and therefore more exciting. If you have any questions regarding these techniques, the song, if you want to know more about the song, the mix here, or any other topic, please leave a comment below. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great time making music. Peace out. Bye.